but it wasn't like flooded. Like if you go to Paris, it's like, oh, everyone and their mom and their sister and the grandma and their first cousin once removed and their second cousin second removed and their great 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 ass. Welcome back, folks. One more time. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 4 of the Curious Tom podcast. Look at me. I'm back. I'm back from Portugal. Don't I look so relaxed and calm and and like I found my youthful charm again? Don't I look like I found my youthful charm? Because I lost it before I lost it. I had lost it, and it was hiding in Portugal. And I went there, and they led us on this whole little treasure hunt. They said, look at the beaches. Maybe it's on the beaches. It was not on the beaches. Then we went on the hike. It was on the hike. I found it on the hike. It was a lovely trip. I had a good time. I'll talk about it in a little bit. One thing that you might notice if you're watching me is that I have headphones now. Isn't that cool? I already had these, but I'm wearing them because I'm getting live playback right now. Ooh, isn't that exciting? Actually, I think I need to put this here so I can lean back Can you see that? Hey, can you see that? I don't have a live feedback, so I'll only know as I'm watching this back. So maybe you can see it, but I'll show it to you in case that you can't see it. This is look at this. It's a Focusrite. Pretty cool, huh? I talked about it in an earlier episode. You remember that? Don't you remember that? Regular listeners, don't you remember that? Don't you remember when I was talking about that one thing and about how I had a silly little fight with my brother about the Focusrite that used to belong to my dad? Well, now it's mine. Suck on that, Louis. Just kidding. I thank you. Just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, you sent it to me for, I don't know if you're listening, but you sent it to me, and this for $100 is a steal, from what I understand. I think they're normally a lot more expensive, but now this allows me to have headphones and listen to the live playback. So on all the other times when I was accidentally speaking with the mic too far away, that won't happen no more. Because if I speak with the mic too far away like this, then I'll know immediately. I'll be like, you idiot, you're speaking too far away from it. You should be sent to the Hague. Hague. I don't know. It's the prison for war criminals in the Netherlands. I don't know. Can't remember. But anyways, we're back. I'm so happy to be back with this upgraded setup and with my youthful glow. And I just played tennis with some friends, so I'm feeling like I have what's the hormone? No, not a hormone. It releases that when you work out and you exercise, your body produces these this juice. your brain comes up with this juice when you move around a lot and you get tired, and your brain goes, "Hey, we don't want to kill ourselves anymore." Why is that? Isn't that a weird thing? Isn't that a weird quirk of human nature? Is that if we don't move around a lot, our brains go, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't be a brain anymore." Hey, maybe I don't want to be a brain anymore, actually. And maybe you should just like rot in your bed the whole day. And then you go outside and you're like, oh, I found purpose again. So there's gonna be a few cuts in this episode. A few jump cuts, I feel like I think is the technical term, because around this time, I think every year around this time I get a cough. And is it allergies? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Could be allergies. It could be that I have like a psychological issue with the fall. I associate it with aging because my birthday is in the fall. And so my body's like starts coughing as soon as it starts to get a little bit cold. And it could be it could be any of those things. It could be that an ancestor of mine told a woman that she couldn't read. Or that she wasn't allowed to read because that made her a witch, and that was kind of a fucked up thing to do, but it actually turned out that she was a witch. It actually turned out that she was a witch the whole time, but she was a good witch. She wasn't a bad one, she was a good witch, and that witch said, hey, you know what, all of your descendants are going to have this one specific minor inconvenience every time in the year. except for not all of your descendants, because as far as I know, my siblings don't experience the same thing. So maybe it manifested in different things for my siblings. Maybe maybe my brother gets it in the spring. Maybe my sister gets it in the summer. Maybe they have other things. Maybe it could manifest in a lot of different ways. Maybe the witch, the nice witch, probably good looking. She's probably good looking. Witches are good looking. The nice witch was probably like, I'm gonna give your descendants of this. Is this a bit worth exploring? Do you think? Do you think I should continue down this path? Do you think I should? Do you think this has legs? The witch bit? You think this is something that I should continue to explore? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just feeling good, and that's all I know. And I don't know if I'm being too loud. It certainly sounds kind of loud. But that's only because I'm experiencing the direct playback in my headphones. Okay. Portugal is really nice, man. I went there, and it was me and 6.5 gay guys, and I posted a TikTok, and I said I posted a TikTok, and I said that I'm on vacation with 6.5 gay guys, and I walked by a magazine that had a picture of a lady on it, and then I said to myself, "Wait, why is that kind of cunt?" Why is that? That's not. Who is that? Who said that? I don't say that. They kind of infected my vocabulary, is what I'm trying to say. But it was very fun. I found myself saying like honey, like just like a bunch of words from that, at least that friend group, that gay friend group uses. Oh, the other thing is they said the people were like, "Who's the half?" And I'll not tell you because I don't want to out him like that. You know, he's what he is. He's a guy living in the world, figuring it out. Okay. You don't say shit about that, okay? You try to come up to me and tell me that my friend needs to put himself inside a box. Why don't you take it up with Mr. 1 and Mr. 2? That's why I call my fists. I call them 1 and 2 because I go 1, 2, and then you're down and you're out and your ego is bruised for a long time because I look like a twink. I don't know if I look like a twink. Maybe I am a twink. I know I have a. I don't know. I've just been called a twink so much, but I don't know if I am one or I carry myself like one. Either way, people feel bad when I beat them up. This is going well. I like the way that this podcast is going. I feel like we're bringing the energy is bringing. It's giving sort of episode 1 vibes. I feel like the energy is kind of giving episode 1 vibes, and I like that, okay? I like the feeling of that. I like the feeling of where we're going. I like the boat that we're going down this river on, because we're all on a boat, and it might sink, and it might sink. So Portugal was good. So 6.5 gay guys, and my vocabulary was infected by them. Imagine if that's all I had to say. That was the only 2 things. The first city we went to was Lisbon. We went to Lesbian. We went to the city of Lesbian. And that was great. That was, I think, without really that much hesitation, I think that's my favorite European city that I've been to. Whoa, guy. Someone put the brakes on this guy, okay? He's saying some pretty intense stuff. Because I haven't been to that many cities, honestly, in Europe. Even though I spent a year there, I didn't travel around a ton, which was a waste of time, and I should have. But I didn't have any money, okay? I didn't have any money, and so I couldn't travel around that much. And when I would go to the grocery store, I would say, "Okay, I have 25 euros for this week," and I'm sounding like I'm complaining about it, like I'm sort of like, "Oh, poor me." It's just what happened, you know. And I had an easy. It's not like I would have been bailed out by, you know, if I had to. But I was broke for a year, and that's how I lived. And I'm not saying that I understand the struggles of people who, you know, experience that on a normal basis, and I don't have anything to fall back on. The truth of the matter is, I just didn't have that. I wasn't very liquid, okay? And so before you get on your freaking liberal woke keyboard warrior type bullshit, know that I'm just saying something that's a true fact, and why don't you just shut up about it? Okay, look at me getting defensive at people who aren't here. Okay, so I wasn't that broke, and I think I completely lost my train of thought. I was saying Portugal's good, but then I was talking about France for some reason, and I can't. Oh, yes. Okay, so because there wasn't that many cities. Okay, so Lisbon. I didn't take anything before this. I'm not on like Adderall or anything. I'm just flying from the power of friendship and exercise. So Lisbon was very good. It was like a very, chill vibe. It was like a chill vibe. I walked by this British lady who was like, on the phone describing Lisbon to one of her friends, and she said, it's not frenetic. It's not frenetic. And I'd never heard that word before, but I understood the context of what she was saying. It wasn't frenetic, okay? It was very calm. And there was tourists from all over there, but it wasn't, like, flooded. Like, if you go to Paris, it's like, oh, everyone and their mom and their sister and the grandma and their first cousin once removed, and their second cousin second removed, and their great, 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 great ass. all of those people. Okay, I'm making myself laugh. This is a good one. This is a good episode, folks. Everyone and their mom and their uncle and great ass are in Paris, and it's like, okay, this is a cool. I get it. I understand that there's some cool things, and it's a famous, iconic city. But can you step away for a second? And Lisbon is. People are stepping away. You know, you're not piled together like a bunch of sardines, which is ironic because sardines are like a famous thing in Lisbon, apparently. So it was not frenetic. There were people from all over. People were generally very nice. They weren't like the French, who, if they see you, sort of their default response to really anyone being in their presence is, I don't want to speak to. I don't. No, please, no. I am not interested in speaking to you. So please go somewhere else. I'm too busy watching a film and smoking cigarettes that I wrote by hand. French people cannot. They don't understand H's, so they don't. So they put H's where they're not supposed to be, and they don't say their H's. So I had this student when I was there who would go, hi. He was trying to say, I am happy. I am happy. This kid would go, hi, ham, happy. It's like, dude, just switch. You just got it. Just flip it. Just flip it in your head. So Lisbon was great. We very cheap alcohol in Lisbon. So we drank a little bit too much. Drank a little bit too much in Lisbon. Sorry, on vacation mode. Drank a little bit too much. Had a little bit too much fun. Stayed up pretty late a lot of the time. Met a lot of cool people though. I met these people from Germany, and they were fun. And I was talking to them for a little bit. And I don't know how this subject came up, but basically, I think maybe for some reason they asked me how I learned about. No, I think I offered it because this is a story that I tell people. So I think I must have offered this information because I thought it would be funny to hear their take on it. But I think maybe we were talking about Nazis because there seems to be a lot nowadays. So we were talking about Nazis, and then I offered this information of how I learned about the Holocaust, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to tell you how I learned about the Holocaust. And basically, how I learned about the Holocaust is I went to a weird charter school like that was focused primarily on experiential education. Experiential education, which means you don't read about it in the book. You experience it, you don't learn about biology from a textbook. You go out into the swamp because our school was in a cabin in the woods. Well, a bunch of different cabins in the wood. So you could go out and you could go in the swamp and like look at the shit. So there was a bunch of cool stuff about it. And, it was a unique way of learning about stuff. And I feel like it, overall, net positive effect on how I interpret the world around me. But one horrible thing, there's two horrible things that they did. Okay, the first was how we learned about the Holocaust. I learned about the Holocaust in the 6th grade. And like I said, I go to an experiential education school. Okay? So we're not learning about it in a book. We're doing a simulation. And that's just the cold, hard truth. So instead of learning about it or watching a documentary or literally anything else, my school hired several actors, several local community actors. I actually knew them because I did theater, because of course I did. And my first role was Oliver Twist because I was a talented young boy and I was destined for stardom from the get, brother. So I knew the local actors, and they hired them to portray Nazis. That's what they did. That's just what happened, okay? I'm just telling you what happened. And they hired them to play Nazis, and did they wear uniforms, including the armband with the swastika on it? They sure did, okay? That's what happened. I'm telling you what happened, okay? And so they all gave us a Jewish identity, and they also, the one weird thing they did was they assigned us some sort of affliction. So like someone had a broken arm, so they had to like wear a cast or something like that. Like we were all supposed to be kind of fucked up in some way. I don't know. So my affliction was a liver disease, which I didn't understand. I was 12. I didn't know what that meant, so I just kind of went around clutching my stomach the whole time because I was trying to take it seriously. And one girl had her thing was that she had a kid, so she had to bring a doll that was her baby, and just carry it around. And I remember that these actors who were portraying Nazis were marching us around, just like kind of making us do shit all day. Like I don't know, they made us do work. They basically put us to work, okay? And at the end, I remember this one guy. So he spoke Norwegian. He spoke Norwegian. He didn't speak German, but he spoke Norwegian, and he kind of gave it a sort of a German flair to it. He sort of gave it a German flair to it because he just wanted to sound vaguely Nazi-ish and give us a good old fright. Because who among us speaks Norwegian? My friend did. That's how I know. So he just kind of spoke Norwegian in a German accent and yelled at us. And I remember he at one point we were in line and he grabbed the kid's doll. He really got into the role. Okay. Say what you will about the whole process, he committed to his role. He committed to his role, okay? So he wasn't phoning it in. He was not phoning it in that day, okay? He took that shit seriously, okay? He's a method actor, okay? I'm sure the week before he was pumping him up by this isn't a lane that I want to go down. Okay. So he grabbed the girl had her doll. And so he went up to her, and he grabbed the doll, and he was like, da Kinder, and then he threw it. He threw the doll. And so I don't know if they did the research. I don't know if he knew that was supposed to be her baby, but that would be pretty fucked up if he understood. And of course there were atrocities like that. But anyways, it's a very unwise, insane thing to do. Irresponsible, even, I would say. I'll go that far. I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. It is irresponsible to do some shit like that. And then at the end, this is the most fucked up part. They made us go through fake gas chambers. And we had to pretend to die. That was the end of the simulation, and then we went, and it was a freaky, and so we watched Finding Nemo to reset afterwards. And I remember, obviously, I'm not Jewish, and my experience with the Holocaust is, of course, not nearly the same as Jewish people's. And so, I'm sure that I don't think there were any Jewish kids at our school. If there were, that would be insane. Because you had to sign a permission slip. So if there were any Jewish kids at school, I'm sure their parents wouldn't have let them do that. Something insane like that. But, I wasn't... the intention was really to make you feel the Holocaust, which is just impossible, right? It's impossible. But I'm a smart kid. I understand that nothing actually is going to happen to us. So we're just going around making believe all day. And I wanted to take it serious. I was a good student, and I wanted approval from adults. I love that kind of stuff. I loved approval from adults. And so I just kind of went around and pretended to be sad and moved by it, and I wasn't, because something like that it just doesn't hit the same. You're doing a play. You're play acting. I know the guy who's playing the Nazi. I know him. I won't say his name on here, but that's a nice guy. I know that guy. And this is also true. This is just a sidebar, but he's a funeral director. He's a funeral director, which is weird, but he's in all these plays. I was in a play with him. Actually, was I in a play with him? I actually take that back. I don't think I was in a play with him. But he came to a bunch of my plays. Point is, I knew the guy, okay? And I was like, that's a nice guy right there. And he's pretending to be a Nazi. And I know he's an act. So maybe for the other kids who didn't know him, it was a little bit more serious. But yeah, they're absurd. Anyways, I told these German girls, and they were just floored. They were just like, what? What are you talking about? That's a horrible German accent. Wait, how do you do a German accent? Oh yeah, I 1/2 hour, 2 1/2 hour. It's like the Nick Kroll thing. 1/2 hour, 2 1/2 hour. For breakfast we have one croissant and then maybe a chocolate cigarette. This is bad. This is not my best work. I'm usually pretty good at accents. Speak a little. Okay. What else? Okay. I don't even know if I want to talk about the other simulation that we did. Fuck it. I'm going to talk about it. Okay. So not only did we do a Holocaust simulation, so that was 6th grade. In the 4th grade, we learned about slavery. Okay? We learned about the Civil War and chattel slavery in how it happened in the United States. Okay? So you see where this is going. Okay? You see where this is going. I didn't do this, okay? So what my school used to do was they would have this thing where sorry. Okay, so what my school used to do, I didn't do this, was similar thing to the Holocaust thing. They would say that the students were playing runaway enslaved people. They were playing runaway slaves, and the teachers were the slave catchers. And so basically, I don't understand. I don't really know all the rules of it, but basically the kids would run away in the woods, and I think they did it at dark, and the teachers would run through the woods and catch them. So that was the thing. And so I knew that was something that I would do in the 4th grade. Because the older students told me about it. And the problem with that is you're basically running away from teachers through the woods at night. That's really fun. That's the problem with that. Is that activity is a blast. That's a hoot and holler. Okay, I'll say it. Without the other context, it's a hoot and a holler. And I'm in 3rd grade. Okay, I don't understand. Same thing. I don't have the baggage for slavery yet. I knew it was bad, but I don't understand this shit. Okay? And so all I know is that there's this thing that you do when you're in the 4th grade where you get to basically run away from the teachers through the woods. And I loved that that was my jam. Okay, that's how I grew up. Those were the activities that I did. So I was looking forward to it, and it was called the Slave Run. That's what it was called. I'm just reporting the news to you. Okay, I don't know what to. It turned into a dark episode. But yeah, that's what we did. And I think the school had the grace and the wisdom to cancel the Slave Run when I did it, because if I had to guess, I would say it was because we were all very excited to do it. If I had to guess, why we didn't do the Slave Run is because kids were running around and maybe telling people, when kids that go to other schools, oh, I can't wait. We do this thing called the Slave Run. It's the funnest day of the year. Okay, enough about that. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild stuff right there. Wild stuff. Okay, Portugal. I think that's all I have to say about. Oh, one thing about Europe. Okay, I think Europe does some things that are right. I think they do some things. Most of the things are wrong in the world are because of Europe. I think I think that Europeans are literally. I think less civilized. Okay, I mean historically. Okay, they didn't understand hygienics for a long time. They didn't understand but before germ theory, people knew that you didn't want to wade through piss and shit all day, and Europeans were like, why don't we just wade through piss and shit all day, and also steal shit from the rest of the world. So I don't. Okay, so I got a little sidetracked there. I have some but I think they set things up well, and they what they do is they take the stolen wealth from other countries, and instead of what they do with it is that they distribute it and do really good public transportation and have good benefits, and healthcare and education, and things are less expensive, and there's way more social safety nets, and they're able to do that because they've stolen wealth, they've extracted wealth from the rest of the world, and in the U.S. we do the same thing. We extract wealth from the rest of the world, but instead of doing all those things, we give it to like 4 people. Okay, so my thing is, if you're gonna take money from the rest of the world, at least give it to do something for everyone. Okay, make your countries, make the standard of living better in your country at least. In the U.S. we're like, no, actually, how about we give it to 4 people? How about instead of doing something for everyone, we give it to 4 people? So basically the joke there is that I'm okay with colonialism as long as I get to benefit a little bit from it. Maybe that's the punchline there. And I don't actually believe that, but I can live with that as a bit. That's coffee. Okay. So Lisbon was cool. But anyway, the whole thing I was going to say is Europe does a lot of things right. One thing that they don't do right is their public bathrooms, at least from what I've experienced. In the U.S., if I'm walking down the street and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to shit myself, I can reasonably find a place where I'll be able to, rush in, use their bathroom, and then maybe buy a stick of gum or something. Not a stick of gum. Who buys a stick of gum? I'm literally a dumbass. Okay. Or like a coffee or whatever. There's an expectation. But in Europe, it's like, good luck, buddy. It's like, good luck, buddy. If you gotta piss or shit, go fuck yourself. Okay? Go fucking pee. They don't have public. Maybe it's just because they don't eat or drink. Okay? They're all pretty dehydrated, I would say, as a continent. Generally, Europeans are dehydrated. I like when you go to a restaurant how they don't bother you that much, but I don't like that you have to ask for water. That's annoying to me. I expect to be serviced, okay? I expect to be serviced when I go, and I expect them to speak English. I expect pretty much wherever I go that I'll be able to communicate with anyone who's there, and if you're not able to speak English, then you're gonna get, life is gonna pass you by, okay? This is the direction the world's heading in. Sorry, pal. Learn English. America, we're coming to give you democracy, okay? And when we give you democracy, you better learn how to speak our language, all right? I hope you understand that, you other countries, you other little I'm not trying to be woke here. I'm not trying to be a woke guy. I'm just telling it how it is, okay? It's sort of, these are 3-dimensional jokes, folks. We're going left. I'm faking that I'm gonna go left, and actually I'm just gonna sit down. So there's that. So we spent 4 days in Lisbon, and then we went to this beach town down south, which is a lot more touristy, and this teeny little cutie village called Lagos. And one cool thing about Lagos is they have all these beaches, and they have all these cool rock formations. So we went on this big hike, and we went and saw all the rock formations, and it was really cool. And they also have a bunch of different beaches. And the cool thing about the beaches is that the titties are out. Titties are out in Lagos, okay? I'm sorry. I'm just reporting to you. I'm reporting to you the news about Lagos, which is that the titties are out. Because it's legal, and I think that should be how it is, okay? Not to get all political, but I think people should be able to show their tits wherever they want. I think you should be able to be at the dentist and show your tits, okay? I think you should be able to be on. I think you should show your tits. If you're no, not if you're a teacher. I don't think you should show you. But I think you should be allowed to have your tits out. If you're allowed to have your shirt off without, and you don't have any tits, I think you should be allowed to have your tits out. But the tits were out, and I had to leave. I was not. I didn't like how I was thinking about these ladies with their tits out. Okay, I try to be a good guy. I try to be feminist. Okay, I don't want to overly sexualize anyone. Okay, and I was at the beach and I was trying to read and enjoy the day, and there's all these titties out, and people should be allowed to have their titties out, but I had to leave because in my head I wasn't being a good guy. I felt like a creep, and so I had to remove myself. I wasn't like getting a boner or anything weird. Like I wasn't like fucking, I had to. Someone should put me down, is what I'm saying. I need to be put down. I need to be put to. Someone needs to take me out of the. I am too much. Okay, I'm incurably horny. Sometimes that's gross. I'm sorry, family, if you're listening. Someone needs to take me out of commission, is what I'm saying. Okay, because I was at the beach in Lagos and there was titties all over the place, and I had to be like, you're a good guy. Remember that, Tommy. You're a good guy. You don't hypersexualize women. You're a good guy. I need to go get a cup of coffee. Okay, do the right thing. Remove yourself from this, and maybe I'm being too hard on myself, but that's how I felt. And so, but it was nice. That wasn't like the defining thing of the entire trip for me. I wasn't distracted by tits the whole trip. But they were there, and I noticed them, and that's all I have to say about that. Very cool trip overall. It was 10 days. It was 10 long days. We did a lot. We all got a little bit sick of each other, but that's just normal if you spend enough time with that many people. Okay, man. I think there's, we're already, why don't we do questions and then end it, man? There's a few other topics I wrote down, but I think we should just save them for the next time. All right? Sorry about on YouTube, the color was weird. I'm starting to use this new software called DaVinci Resolve, I believe. And I kept importing. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I would export an audio only file to put it on all the platforms that have audio only. And then I realized that it was only coming out of the left ear. And I didn't know what was going on. And I guess that I needed to switch the track to mono, whatever the hell that means. So I did that. So I had to republish it. But then the thing that I wasn't able to figure out is why the color changed. So there's the color right now on my phone, which I'm recording on, and then like I would import it into this software, and it was like I don't know what was going. I didn't know what to do, and it made me furious. Okay, do you understand that? It made me furious. Not really. Not really. It was more of a minor inconvenience. But it looked weird, and so all the clips looked weird, and so the video on YouTube looked weird, and so all 11 people who saw it on YouTube were probably like, "Why does it look so weird, man? What's going on? What's going on with that? Stop making it look like that, you piece of work, you son of a gun." So that's the update there. I had two questions. Greta. My friend Greta, I need to stay at her house in Kalamazoo, and she said, unexpectedly, only if you tell me about the history of sleepovers on your podcast. Only if you talk about the history of sleepovers on your podcast. And I said, you listened to the podcast? And she said, I listened to the whole thing. And I said, well, there's 3 episodes out. Which one did you listen to? And I didn't actually say that, but I was wondering that, and I was too afraid to answer because maybe she did listen to the first one, and she was like, that's enough of that. I'm not going to tune in again. And that would be fine if that were the case, but it would just, I don't want to put her in the position to say, I don't want to put her in the position to have to say that she only listened to one episode. because maybe she'll feel awkward about that, and maybe I'm just projecting that onto her. But that's why I didn't ask about it. So basically, I don't know if she's gonna listen to this, but she said that I have to. But maybe she did. Maybe she does because she asked me to talk about it on her podcast. So, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. This is going nowhere. She asked me to talk about the history of sleepovers. I think the history of sleepovers is like when you're a kid and you are so sick of your parents, and anything that they say, you're like, Mom, shut up, or Dad, go kill yourself. when you're when you're like 8 and you're like, Mom, shut up, Dad, kill yourself. Okay? Every 8-year-old goes through that phase when they're like, Mom, shut up, and Dad, kill yourself, and then they go sleep somewhere else, and they want to go sleep. This is getting dark. I didn't plan to answer it like this, but this is where this is going, and I can't stop. They think, Mom, shut up, Dad, kill yourself. I'm gonna go sleep at my friends, and because his parents are, I would actually care if that's too dark. But I think the energy of it is basically something new and exciting. And you want to sleep, and you want to spend time with your friend. You want to stay up late. You want to play video games, and you want to have a different breakfast than you normally do. And hopefully it's good. Sometimes it won't be. You want to have a dinner that maybe they have candy at your house, and you don't have candy at your house because you're an ingredient household, and your parents are really against sugar. And so you're like, oh, I want to sleep at a place that has sugar, or a place that has video games, or spend some quality time with my friend, and stay up late and just kind of make each other laugh all the time. Now I'm feeling nostalgic for sleepovers. But that's the history of it, I think. I think that's all I have to say about that. So I'm going to be sleeping at Greta's place for the homecoming, because there's a Frisbee reunion, so I'll be going back for that, and I'll be staying there, and we'll kiki. Okay. The last thing, I only had one other question, and forgive me, I need to pull this up. I'll probably cut this here. Okay, so this question comes from Togd Paul. It's his this question comes from Togd Paul. His Instagram is Tigger04 or 04. He DM'd me. He said, this is cool. So shout out to this guy. He said, hey, dude, stumbled on your podcast. This is funny. American humor doesn't always resonate with me, but I like your quirkiness. So fuck yeah, I'm not an I don't do American style. I'm sort of exotic, basically, is what I'm reading from that. I'm like sort of, I'm sort of intriguing and exotic, and like sort of I have sort of a non-American vibe to me. So thank you for saying that, Togd. I'm butchering your name, I'm sure. Okay, questions for your next podcast. Are you a Monty Python fan, or is asking that to your generation so ancient history, like saying you didn't like Oscar Wilde's latest play? LOL. Well, I've heard Oscar Wilde's name, and I don't think I could tell you. I don't think I could tell you anything that he's done. But I do know Monty Python. I like Monty Python a lot. I grew up watching. Sorry, I do like Monty Python. I like them a lot. I grew up watching them. I love them. I like their sketches. I remember watching Funny Walk and doing all the funny walks with my siblings. I like the movies. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I watched a ton of times growing up. And I love I think it holds up, or I guess I haven't seen it recently, so maybe it doesn't, because a lot of that stuff that you watch when you're a kid and you think is great, and you watch it again as an adult and you're like, ooh, I'm disappointed. But I would probably say that Monty Python even had some influence on me, because because I like getting weird with it. I like getting weird style with it, okay? And they weren't afraid to get weird and alty and strange and bizarre, and quirky and just silly. Like, it's just silly. Like, there's like a lot of people now, I think, in comedy are trying to be cool, and it's like, this isn't a cool thing to do. No, we're not cool. We're clowns. We're not doing a cool thing right now. We're trying to be silly. We're clearly just desperate for attention for whatever reason. And people are like trying to be like jaded and narcissistic and like cool, and it's like we're not cool. This isn't a cool thing. Take a risk, be weird, be a little quirky, like this guy's saying. And I appreciate you saying that, Tog. But that's one thing I like about British humor is they're not afraid to get weird with it. And Monty Python got real weird with it, man. So I like them a lot. Last thing I'll say, because I mentioned it in the last podcast, was I did a roast battle. I've done actually two. I've done two roast battles. Won them both. Fucking big shot roast comedian over here. This guy's gonna make it big in the roast scene. I won two roast battles. One was against my friend Ian Zide, and the other was against Vinny. And I'm forgetting your last name, but maybe no one listens. It doesn't matter. If I had a bigger audience, I would say your last name. But Vinny, yeah, he's good. Both good guys. I like him a lot, and I beat them both, and that's fine. And that's not what it's about. It's more about having a good roast, and I'm able to say that graciously as the winner. I'm just being a dick right now. I'm sorry. So yeah, it was fun. I'm a roast comedian now, and it's stressful to me. 'Cause you get assigned this person to roast, and then you just don't think about anything else other than the roast for however long you have until the roast, and it takes over your brain, and you like are texting people like, does this work? Do you think this is good? And you don't think about other material. You can't put your energy into other things. At least I can't. And so it's kind of stressful. But I like the act of roasting itself. So thank you for having me on Roast Battle. I'm sure I'll do more, even though I say that I'm tired of it. I'll say yes because I'm a little slut for the stage time. Okay, I think that's all we have. That's all we have, folks. There's things that I wanted to talk about, but we're already at 42 minutes. Happy me being back from Portugal. Happy happy fall. It's a little bit colder in Chicago. Have a go out and have a drink tonight with some cherished friends. Or if you don't, maybe we're glorifying drinking too much and you shouldn't, or if you're sober, or you're allergic to alcohol, or there's a number of reasons that you shouldn't do it. But if you want, basically the idea is you should spend some time with cherished friends. And so that's what I am going to sign off with. Is go spend some quality time with friends, because it makes you not want to kill yourself. I'm not suicidal. I don't know why I keep making those kind of jokes. I don't know if I have the right to make those kind of jokes when I'm not actually suicidal. Dude, it's been a roller coaster of an episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Curious Tom episode 4 out.